Good morning. Again, welcome everybody, especially our state legislators who are here. We're expecting a few more before we're through. My name is Walter Glum. I am the Executive Director of the Connecticut Council on Developmental Disabilities. This is our annual legislative breakfast. The Council, if you're not familiar with us, engages in advocacy, capacity building, and systemic change activities to help Connecticut improve its system of home and community-based services so that people with developmental disabilities can live in their own homes, in the community, live full lives, contribute to the community, as opposed to receiving services in institutional settings. So that's what we're all about. We are federally funded, and most of our work is done by third parties. We have a small staff, myself and my assistant Donna. Where's Donna?
Over here.
There's Donna. Thank you, Donna. This is all Donna's work, by the way. So. But otherwise, most of the work is done by third parties. We make grants to private nonprofit and educational organizations to work on our objectives. So the way we organize the breakfast is you'll see here a number of our grantees are here displaying the work that they've done for us. So you will find here on the tables, we should have a representative from Aging CT, the Area Agencies on Aging, arriving soon. The Connecticut Family Support Network is here. People First of Connecticut is here. Proud Parents is here. For All Ages is here. And the Center for Children's Advocacy are here, all with materials that represent the work they've done for us. We also have our three federal partners, the University Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities, Disability Rights Connecticut, and the State Independent Living Council are also here. So I hope you'll just visit and talk to them to get a better understanding of the details of what we do. Having said that, I don't want to take up too much time because we have some really great people here who I want you all to hear from. But right now I want to hand it over to our council chair, Fran Trzaski, who will say a few words. Fran?
Thank you, Walt, and welcome everyone. As Walt said, I'm Fran Trzaski, current chair of the Council on Developmental Disabilities. So, probably just about a year ago this time, my daughter Lauren and I, who many of you probably know, were sitting down working on some testimony for Family Day, and she looked at me at one point and said, "Dad, it seems like we say the same things every year." And it was kind of a down moment because, it can feel that way, especially when you're young and you think things should change just because they should. Why aren't they changed? They should, right? So we talked for a while about, the incremental nature of change and how over the long haul things get better and how you got to keep working on the big things and taking the little wins when you can. Good talk, but a little bit of a down day for her. But when I stand here today with this group, I can't help but feel proud and positive and optimistic about where we're headed and about the future. We have with us today an incredible group of our grantees who are out every day, out in the public, working with folks with developmental disabilities and doing amazing things. We have with us a number of folks from our partners at DDS and other state agencies, the folks who we work with all the time to make, to evolve and change and make positive change in offerings from the state. And of course our reason for being here this morning, we have a great group of legislators, of senators and representatives who have joined us, who are the folks who stand behind us and work with us as we try to move the state and continue to make forward progress and get to a place where equity and inclusion for everybody are the norm. So feeling very positive this morning, and thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Legislators who've joined us, thank you very, very much for coming in. And I will turn it over to Commissioner Sheff, I think, who may want to say a few words.
Thank you, Fran. Many of the services, state public services for people with developmental disabilities are delivered by the State Department of Developmental Services. And we have the Commissioner here who is going to say a few words. Jordan.
Thank you all. Thank you for having me here today. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. Fran's daughter would, if she was here today, would say that I'm going to say a lot of the same things I did last year, but it's okay. They're still true. I work collegially with people in my position across the country. It's different in Connecticut, and sometimes we don't think it's different in the way that it is, but a lot of commissioners, secretaries, directors would walk into an affair today knowing they were walking into a hot zone because DRCT is in the building, our disability rights group, or that the ARC is here, or that the ombuds person is here. And that is sometimes a difficult position for individuals like me in other states because they are often working at odds. Connecticut's different. I work with all of those groups collegially. We have, even though I work at the executive branch and I'm sometimes on the opposite side of the table from the discussion, looking at states' interests instead of disability-specific issues, we have the opportunity to work collaboratively. We've worked with, as an example, with disability rights on voting issues and on advancing supported employment outcomes. And instead of doing that combatively, we've done that collectively. We've worked with Walt and the Council on understanding better populations not yet served by Connecticut who have substantial need. So we are very different in that regard, that the ombuds person will hold my feet to the fire but also sit with me to strategize a solution for somebody and arrive at an outcome that moves them forward, that doesn't move us away from the way that we operate, but delivers positive outcomes for people with intellectual disabilities. Our self-advocates, my friend Josie's here, who's representing a couple different things, but I think proud parents today. But she also works for me as a self-advocate coordinator, and she has to come to me and say, hey, this isn't going right out in the regions, and I need your help to fix this. So I'm proud to represent an organization that is open to those conversations. Former council chair here, Molly Cole, she remembers perhaps a different flavor of relationship with the department than maybe we see today. I won't put words in her mouth, but she's not been opposed to sharing words during her time up here in Hartford, so if you want to pick her brain a little, you might. So again, I'm really happy to be here, to be part of this family, even though sometimes it feels like we're working across the table from one another. We're collectively working for the same outcomes that the council's mission is born in. Just recently we had the opportunity for Walt to visit with my executive management team with a conversation with a couple prongs. We wanted to know, could we formalize some of the relationship that has been left informal in terms of how the council is supported by the state, and what are the steps to do that. We wanted to more formally provide input into the council's 5-year strategic plan, and Walt was gracious enough to attend to the meeting, and my leadership team was gracious enough to find opportunities and things that we could partner on to work together. And I think that's just emblematic of the nature of this community, the IDD and the broader DD community here in the state of Connecticut. Very honored to be here, Walt, and thank you for letting me participate. And I'm glad you're all here to show support, in particular my colleagues at the legislature who are standing and listening attentively at the back of the room. So thank you very much, Walt, and I'll give it back to you.
Thank you, Jordan. And I do not take it for granted that your door is always open and that we're able to communicate as freely as we do. Thank you. Now, we also have a number of legislators here, and what I'd like to do is give any legislators an opportunity to come up and say a few words. Forgive me, I'm going to call some of you out. So if you want to pass, please just say, tell me you want to pass. But for a start, I see that Senator Slapp is here, and he has been a longtime supporter of our community, and I wonder if he'd like to say a few words. Yeah, you can come up as a group. Come on up.
Save time for everybody.
Okay, fine. So I'll let you guys organize yourselves.
Yeah, perfect. We'll see.
Thank you. Makes my life
Made it
easy.
easy for you.
Okay, thank you.
Great. I don't know if the microphone is on. Is it? Okay. All right, here we go. So, hey, just want to say thank you for inviting me here. Good morning. It's good to see so many friends here. Darlene, who's done such incredible work with the micro businesses and giving really just a hope and power for people who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. So it's just inspiring to be with all of you. I think it's very appropriate that we're in the Connecticut Hall of Fame, right? You see the letters, right, wording right above me, because you all are really Hall of Fame members when it comes to this effort. So we're here to support you and to get your back. And speaking of that, right behind me is a great team of my colleagues. So I'll just start by introducing a few here. Senator Kushner is a real champion for all folks when it comes to empowering people. So let me introduce my colleague and good friend, Senator Kushner.
Thank you, and it's really great that you're here today. I know the weather has been horrible and people have had trouble traveling, and we were lucky today because I think everybody got here safely. But for me, when we talk about equity and inclusion, that means inclusion for everyone and not just for some. And so I have really, as a legislator, after many, many years living in my community of Danbury, I didn't really know much about the IDD and the disability community. And I have found that this has been eye-opening to see what people are doing to really make a change and make a difference. So thank you all for being here, and we're here to support you. Let me introduce my colleague from the House, Representative D'Amico.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you to all of you for being here this morning. I would be remiss, first of all, thank you for the work that you do and for the efforts that you make, all the time to educate us and make us aware of the problems and the issues and the work that you do. The work will always be there. It will continue on forever because it has to. But what you do for all of us is to educate us. And as my colleagues have pointed out, we wouldn't know about many of the issues if it weren't for you telling us and imploring us to do better. So I would be remiss if I did not mention that we're going to be having a press conference right here, literally right here at 1 o'clock this afternoon. I hope some of you are able to come back or stick around. It's a long day, I understand, but 1 o'clock this afternoon, we're going to be having a press conference to alert all of my legislative colleagues and members of the public to some of the legislation that is currently before the General Assembly this year, having to do with supported decision-making and the potential elimination of community first choice and problems with accessible medical diagnostic equipment and so forth. So if you can make it for 1 o'clock this afternoon right here, that would be great. Fran reminded me of something. One of the people who I admire most in politics was Lyndon Johnson. Remember President Johnson from years ago? The Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act, Social Security and Medicare and so forth. Lyndon Johnson used to say, too slow, everything's going too slow. Well, I understand that it goes painfully slow around here, but we have to just keep it up and take the little victories that we get every year and try to speed things up a little bit. I've said too much, but thank you for being here.
Thank you, and thank you all for being here, and thank you for all the work that you all do on behalf of people with disabilities. I'm delighted to be here with my constituent, Fran Trzaski, who has enlightened me on not only the issues regarding people with disabilities, but how much of a positive impact the work that you all do can have on people. And it's just so important that we make sure that all people can live their fullest lives and thrive to the best of their ability, and the work that you all do makes that happen so often. So thank you very much, and happy to be here. And let me introduce Bill Heffernan.
Thank you, Senator. They told me there'd be coffee, and they were right. have coffee, I'm here every time. I'm not going to reiterate what everyone already said. The work that the IDD does is fantastic. I think, like Fran and the Commissioner mentioned, we need to keep moving forward. We don't want to just do the status quo. Events like this are great because it gets the word out. It educates people like me and my colleagues to some of the stuff that we don't understand and we don't know that goes on. I do have people with disabilities in my family, so I'm kind of on the inside track of certain issues, but everybody's different, and every disability has its own groove, so to speak. So, but it's great to see all the support here today. A lot of people and a lot of my colleagues are here, and thank you very much. And let me introduce my colleague Lucy Dathan.
Good morning, everyone. It is so wonderful to see so many people here this morning when it's been such icky weather. I was actually going to use another word, but that would... I'll leave that to your own imagination. I'm Lucy Dathan. I represent Norwalk and New Canaan in the 142nd District, and I'm also one of the co-chairs of the IDD caucus. I came to this work from one of my constituents or potential constituents in 2018. Sorry, his name just escaped me, but he was with the ARC and Wynn Everts, thank you. I'm like sitting here thinking about the fog and what word came to my mind, but anyway, Wynn Everts was amazing, and he told me about some of the challenges that this community was facing, and he introduced me to many of you in this room, and I've been talking to you for many years, and it's really nice to see you and continue the advocacy. We are having IDD Family Day in the Capitol the 31st of March, if that hasn't already been announced. But we're going to be continuing to advocate. That's going to be right around the budget time that the appropriations is going to talk about their budget. And one of the key things that I'm most concerned about in the budget is the moving of the Community First Choice to a waiver program. We in this community know what that means. We've talked about wait list for so many things, whether it's autism or developmental disabilities, and we don't want to have yet another program created a wait list. It puts families in a lot of strain and a lot of issues. So that is something that we need to continue to support, that work, that we continue to fund Community First Choice as part of the main plan of for CMS. There's other things that we're talking about. Husky C is something that we talk a lot about, and I really would like to work on a pathway to get us to rethink those assets and income levels that we need to talk about, because that really affects people. Those levels were very appropriate in the 1970s or 60s when the levels were first set. But look at how our community has changed over that time frame. We have decided, let's keep our folks in the community with their families, giving them programs and doing all of these things, giving them an opportunity for additional sort of making their lives as best as possible. And that's why this program really needs to be reassessed. It is expensive, but I do think we can figure out a way to get there, because the alternative of putting people in institutions is just not acceptable, because so many people have so many things to give. Which brings me to one of my favorite topics of this year is supportive decision making. Last night, Raise Bill 5485 was introduced to the Human Services Committee, and I can say we only got there as a group of people. We have been working since the end of last session to get a bill forward to talk about it. We had a program back in December, which was fantastic. You can find it on CTN or find it on YouTube and learn a little bit more about supportive decision making. There's going to be a public hearing on that next week on Tuesday the 10th. I really hope that we hear from many families on why supportive decision-making is an important alternative to guardianship or conservatorship. And it is something that's currently we are allowed to do in our state, but it's implicit in statute. And this bill, 5485, will make it explicit. So I do hope that folks come out, do support. If you can't make it to the Capitol that day, there's Zoom options. There is an opportunity to put something on our CGA website and just doing written testimony. But I have heard from so many families why supportive decision-making is really important to them. And I'm super excited and so proud of the work that we've done this summer to get there. And thank you, Shannon, and thank you, Tom, and thank you to everyone here. And I'm going to stop talking because you guys want to hear other people. But thank you so much for all your support over the years.
Thank you, Lucy, and everyone. It's great to have our state legislators here. It's great to have all of you here. I've got nothing more to add. There's food, there's coffee, and we have our grantees here. So please mix and chat and learn more. If you have any questions about the council, please see me. Happy to answer your questions. Thank you.